Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today. In this video, I'm going to start on the lowest time frame, the 30-minute time frame here, and then I'm going to move to the higher and higher time frames. It's going to be a bit of a shorter update today, so let's just dive right in. Since yesterday's video, we actually broke down from this ascending trend line that we were looking at, and of course, after that, we did see the downside as expected. We got about a 2% move to the downside, sweeping a bunch of liquidity that we were talking about on this Bitcoin liquidation heat map. In fact, we ended up taking out about $120 million worth of long positions, sitting at around 86.4K. Now, you may notice on this 3-day time frame, currently, most of the liquidity is to the upside here. Do keep in mind that we are talking about the short term. So in this case, the 89,000 US dollar level, while we are trading at about 87,500. And there is also a bunch of liquidity to the downside, even as low as about 86.2K. I will actually take a further look at this Bitcoin liquidation heat map in just a second. But for now, we should be taking a look at some higher time frames in this case. Let's start off on this 2-hour time frame. In my last video, the RSI was in overbought territory, and since then we basically saw the RSI reset back down, in this case exactly to the 50 level on this 2-hour time frame. However, on the 4-hour time frame, we only saw it reset a little bit before we got a bit of a bounce back up. So in this case, on the 4-hour time frame, there is potentially still some room to reset before we may get another move to the upside. I don't really make big predictions in terms of what the price is going to do based off of this RSI, but right now what we are seeing is basically just lower lows and lower highs being formed on this RSI, which is creating a short-term downtrend. And potentially, if this gets broken to the upside once again, we are potentially also going to see a breakout above this massive descending trend line that Bitcoin has been trading below for a very long time. In fact, since about January here, currently this level of resistance is sitting at around 88.7K. So this is just slowly trending down over time. And once we get the 1-day candle close above that descending line of resistance, I do think it is quite likely that we are going to get a further continuation to the upside as well. And of course, we should keep in mind that Bitcoin is currently still in this ascending channel pattern. So like I've been saying for, 10 days or something at this point, Bitcoin is slowly just trending up over time, so long as we are in this ascending channel pattern. However, right now we are actually at this level of resistance that actually needs to be broken. So the key levels to be watching is, again, that 88.7K level. And then above that, we do have this ascending line of resistance sitting around the 90,000 US dollar level. So especially if we start getting daily candle closes above this descending line of resistance, potentially even breaking out above this 0.382 Fibonacci level sitting at around 89.4K, then it is starting to look pretty bullish, guys, especially with us breaking this massive downtrend in the RSI on the 1-day time frame, while simultaneously we are also seeing a bullish divergence in the Bitcoin charts at the moment. For now, my base case remains the same. I am bullish on Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame, although this is a bit of a scary time if you're going to be opening up a big swing long for Bitcoin, because personally, I would really prefer waiting for a confirmed break above this descending line of resistance. And once you see that break, then you can have more confidence in the breakout actually continuing to the upside. Of course, nothing I say in my videos is financial advice, but I'm simply telling you what I'm seeing in the charts, and you can do with that information what you like. And of course, I am talking about big swing trades because on the lower time frames, anything is possible. You can long, you can short, you can long. That's more about like scalping and taking short-term leverage trades. That is, of course, not what I'm talking about, because like I said, on the lower time frames, you can still do whatever you want. Next, taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on this 2-week time frame, currently you can notice how there is quite a bit of liquidity to the downside, because we are currently trading around a 2-week high. So therefore, most of the liquidity will be to the downside here. And in fact, there is a decent amount of liquidity around this 83,000 US dollar level. Lastly, let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday, we saw a small net inflow of about $80 million into the Bitcoin ETFs. So this is having a small upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. However, nothing too significant going on here. Either way, guys, this has been today's market update. Sorry for probably keeping it a bit short after this is all edited, but if you want to get my full insight into what I think is happening right now in the market on these higher time frames perhaps, then I do recommend checking out yesterday's video as well. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.